In the crafting aisle at Dollar Tree, you can find these burlap fabric rolls pretty much year round for every season, and I love using them for crafts. We're going to start with this picture frame. Now, it's all torn apart because we used it for another project, but let me show you what it looked like. It actually had a mirror in it, and it was really cute. But that's okay. We kept the frame, and we're just going to give it 2 coats of Waverly chalk paint in the white, although this is optional. You can leave it in the black, or you can paint whatever color you want. I'm going to give it 2 coats, set it to the side to dry. And while that is drying, I'm going to take this leftover piece of the burlap fabric and I am going to just wet it a little bit. It's just way too curved. So getting it wet and then ironing it works really well. One of you suggested this idea and I love it. Once it was nice and flat, I'm just going to place the backing of the mirror just as a guide, cut and then hot glue as needed. I'm not worried about the edges exposed because we're going to cover that up. And then we're just going to cut off all the excess fabric from the edges. Now that my frame is nice and dry, I'm going to wet a rag and I'm just going to wet distress it just because it has all this texture and I feel like it pops nicely when it's distressed. As I always tell you, you don't have to distress it if you don't like that look. You can always leave it in the solid color. Once I distressed it as much as I wanted it, I'm just going to give it 1 coat of this top coat. That way it'll be nice and sealed. I'm going to add hot glue in the areas where I know it's going to touch the backing. And then we're just going to attach it right to the front. That's it. Look how gorgeous it's already looking. I love that burlap. All right, so now we are going to take this flower. Now this comes off of a bundle that I get on Amazon and they're gorgeous. And I'm going to show you the bundle here in just a few. I removed the stem and the leaves temporarily and I'm just going to cut off the stem as close as possible to the flower without it falling apart, adding hot glue and then just hot gluing it to the center of the piece. Then I'm going to remove the stem from the leaves and now I'm just going to arrange the leaves where I want them, nice and flat. And then we are just going to just leave it as simple as this, but you can add any other flowers you want or arrangements, whatever you want. We're going to add rope so we'll be able to hang it. We're just going to make some knots, tight it really tight, then cut off the front. And then we're just going to do the other side as well, leaving as much hang as I'd like, doing another knot on the other side, cutting off the excess, and then hot gluing it to the sides, just like you see here, a little glue behind the knot, and then a little glue on the rope. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, and this is how we can hang it. I'm absolutely loving this one. I love the colors. They're just so beautiful. That burlap in the background is just gorgeous. But let me know what you think down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take this other leftover piece of burlap fabric and we are going to again give it just a little spray with water and then iron it just in the area where I need it. I'm going to cut off a piece that I know for sure is going to cover the surface that we're going to use it on, which is going to be one of these metal pieces that you can find at Dollar Tree. They have a section with tons of different designs and I have this mason jar style one. I'm going to remove the jute string from it. I'm going to spray adhesive the surface of it without doing the top and add a little bit of hot glue on the edges and then placing the burlap right on top, just like that. And then of course we want to cut off all the excess burlap with the scissors as close as possible to the edge, but of course it doesn't have to be perfect. Now for the top portion, I am going to add a little bit of this ribbon. Now I thought for some reason you'll be able to see it. In the end, you couldn't see it, but I just wanted to show you why I did it. All right, so now I'm going to take this crocodile and this is just basically going to punch hole through the metal nicely and easily. And I'm just going to make several because I want to add some florals and I want to be able to insert the stem through the holes. So I'm just going to do as many as I think I need, even though I think I added a little too much. It's nice and smooth in the back too, so you don't have to worry about it being prickly in the back. Here's that bundle of beautiful peonies that I get on Amazon. I'm going to take this pink one again. I removed the leaves from it, inserted the stem through the hole, and now I'm going to attach once again the leaves the way I did the other one, but this time just at the bottom. Now then I'm just going to grab different types of florals from the same bundle, just cutting the stem and then just kind of folding it a little bit at the top and then inserting it. Don't worry about it being all out crazy in the back. We're going to tape that here in just a minute. I'm going to add one more, flip it over, and this is where we're going to add clear tape, just making sure that all those stems are nice and flush with the surface at the back, just like that. And I added a second layer of the tape to make sure it's not going to lift on me. Now I am going to add a little loop in the back just so that we don't hang it. Just some jute string. I looped it tied it in a knot, cut off the excess, hot glued it, and taped it to the back. This is going to be able to allow me to hang this piece on the wall. We're going to flip it to the front, and we're just going to take some raffia ribbon. You don't have to do this part. It's optional, or any other ribbon would do. I'm just going to use this one because it has that nice neutral tone. I'm going to wrap it a few times around my fingers, scrunch it in the middle. We're going to tie it with more of that ribbon, fluff it just a tiny bit, and then we're going to hot glue it to the right side, right there next to the large flower, and that's it. What a beautiful design. I love these colors. Again, so feminine and romantic. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take one of these little wood round kind of frame pieces. You can find these year-round in different shapes and sizes, and this round one is gorgeous. There's actually not much to be done to it. Now, I did decide to brighten up the border. You don't have to. Trust me, it's beautiful as is. I just wanted it to be a little bit brighter. So I'm just going to take Waverly Chalkman in the white and a small brush and do a light coat. Or I'm going to take another piece of that same burlap fabric, and I'm just going to cut a piece that's going to fit at the bottom half of the round. I'm going to use my finger protector because if you work with burlap, you know that it will seep through when you're using hot glue. So we're just going to start attaching it all the way around half of the wood round. And this is already looking so cute. So now we're going to flip it over, and we're just going to cut it as close as possible to the edge using my scissors, but you can also use an X-Acto knife if you'd like. All right, so now we're created a pocket, and now you can do all kinds of things with this. You can leave it as is and add florals in the pocket. I wanted to have it more as a kind of letter and note holder. So I'm going to add some of this greenery on top, attaching it with hot glue, and a cute little pop of pink flowers from Dollar Tree right there in the center, just to kind of bring everything together. Now I'm going to use some of these Dollar Tree thumbtacks. You can find this in the office aisle, and we're just going to add a few, one on each side. And the way I do it so that they're nicely even, I'm going to add one on each upper side, and then I'm going to add one directly in the bottom, the center portion, and then one in each center of each side. That way they're going to be as close as possible to evenly spaced. This is coming together nicely. I had this piece of scrap paper left over. I'm just going to wiggle it around, and I'm just going to write a little cute note for my daughter. Have a beautiful day, Mom. And we're just going to place it right there. This could be a little communication space where you can just place notes back and forth. You can put photos, whatever you want. Love, love, love the way this one turned out. I love these wood rounds. What do you think? I'd love to know your thoughts on this one. Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start by printing off the shape of a butterfly. I printed it in the size of about 4 inches, just so that you know. This is a book with craft paper. I'm going to choose a design that I think is going to look great for what I'm envisioning with this. And then I'm going to cut off the excess paper around the butterfly. I'm going to place the butterfly exactly where I want it, depending on the design of the paper. Put some carbon paper in between and just trace it with a tracing tool. I do have this carbon paper in my Amazon store. It is linked down below in the description box. Love using it. It's a great alternative to not owning a Cricut or a cutting machine. Once it's traced, we're just going to cut it. As simple as that. We're just going to cut it all the way around. So let me explain what we're doing. I want to create a butterfly. This is going to be a 3D, very textured, very layered butterfly. I'm also going to go and use my laminating sheet. This is a leftover piece in my laminator, and we are going to just create a see-through clear plastic. It was leftover, why not? I'm going to trace it onto the clear plastic once again, and then just cut. Now, the goal here is to have 3 layers, okay? We're going to have a layer of the craft paper, a layer of the clear plastic that I'm cutting now, and a layer of the burlap fabric. Now, I am going to wipe off the mark from the carbon, and it wiped really well. On the leftover piece of plastic, we are going to spray adhesive with this Gorilla spray, which I do have in my Amazon store. And I'm going to place the fabric right on top and then trace a butterfly on the back side. So on the side that is plastic. And again, we're just going to cut. Now, I did have to trim several of the butterflies because I want the top butterfly to be smaller, and then the next one a little bigger, and then the last one a lot bigger. So this is kind of what it's looking like. It's just so that you have a visual of what I'm seeing. All right, so we're going to put everything together, and because I want it to have a 3D look, I do want to fold the wings just a little bit towards the front. That way they're going to flip over just a little bit and add that nice 3D look. We're going to hot glue one butterfly on top of each other, and then the last one's going to be the craft paper one. And look how cute that's looking. In the crafting aisle at Dollar Tree, you can find these wood beads, and they are in the shape of like maybe an oval. They're really unique. I'm going to take a pink one. I'm just going to hot glue it right there in the center. Now we're going to take some buttons, and we're just going to hot glue several in different shades that really complement the entire design. And just hot glue them here and there. This was inspired by one I saw on Pinterest, and I just thought I have to recreate one and make it a spring one. All right, so now finally we're going to take a clothespin from Dollar Tree, and we're just going to hot glue the butterfly right there, right on the top. Now we can attach this butterfly to any floor arrangement anywhere in your home. How fun is this? Love the texture, love the layers, and I love that you can also even put a magnet behind it and use it on your refrigerator. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I have another video here for you with tons more of Dollar Tree DIY crafts inspiration. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.